Hello everyone. How's it going today? It's been a bit, but we're back. Gonna play more Ace Attorney today. Got really invested into it last time, which I mean, I should have expected for like a Phoenix Wright type game, but yeah. Very strong start. I can load up the game and get my camera going. Yeah, I was worried recently because I was like having trouble thinking of stuff I could stream, because it happens every now and then, because I have enough Let's Plays planned for like the end of the year if I wanted. Hold on. We good? No, hold on. Need to get rid of... There we go. But yeah, I was worried about like not having enough to stream because it sort of happens. But like the other day, just like inspiration struck and I got like 4 different ideas all at once that day. I'm like, okay, whew. It just happens sometime, you know? It's like working on things is hard for me, like hard to get started, that sort of thing. But then sometimes, like a stroke of like energy, I could just do it all at once. That's how this overlay happened. I was like, you know, I should make a proper overlay at some point. That'd be nice to have. But that's a lot of work and I don't know what to make it look like. But then one day I was like, let me just make it right now. And I did. Got all of this overlay done in like a day. Less than a day even. It was like a couple hours if I recall correctly. The gift behind me was the longest part because I like had to think of a good thing to play in the background. Anyway, back to this. Let's continue. Oh man, I'm excited to get back to this. I'm gonna try to go a little longer than my streams usually go because, you know, story-based game. Gotta go longer. Okay. I got a lot of drinks here. Mostly water, a tiny bit of soda, just so I can rest my throat a little bit if I need to, because we're gonna be doing a lot of talking. Okay. Here we go. Oh yeah, last time a lot of stuff happened, but the most recent thing is that... Well, I understand you're the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress in my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're probably gonna get some of this, aren't we?
The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. Ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I'm most grateful. Aw man, evidence time. Oh, she's over here now. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it, a report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. Went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Thief!
Oh yeah, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So is this research, whatever it is, has something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. No, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? Never heard that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom!
There was too little time for you to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it'd be valuable, please cast your eye over it. It's wonderful, thank you. Sales report. Goodbye then, and good luck. Let's take a look at this when we get a chance. Let's say right now. Take a look at this new thing. Examine. A poison reef the bark of certain trees in jungles of South America. The hunters of the region use this ancient time to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body, subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed the toxin could have applications as anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused by a result of full-body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Poison. Case closed. Easy.
You've had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett, but seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
What if I just picked something completely wrong, but no, it's this. Present.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel?
A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done. Well, you wouldn't have done?
What do you mean?
I meant that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. I'm probably saying it's probably curare or something. Curare. I don't know. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of deadly poison!
What?
South America, baby.
Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has been long used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. Seems that's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. It was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection! Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other dads have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that.
You again, subscribe.
Hey, Bonnie, welcome. This isn't the paired one, no. This is, like, Ace Attorney in the past. Sadly, no parrots. As far as I know, I'm going this blind. I don't know if there are any parrots. The English lady we're interrogating has a swan hat, if that helps. I don't remember anything like that either. Didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that cure was used.
Explain yourself, Counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair on him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. If you lose control of your muscles sitting in a chair, you fall out of the chair. Look, the diner chairs are really good. They get you stuck in the seats. And all the while, the victim's conscious and aware, just unable to move. Knows from experience, yeah.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was sipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living heck. That's the true nature of this deadly cure poison. Silence.
And you're suggesting this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
There's always wind on a guy's bandana. You know, just to make it look cool. I assume that Ryunosuke is just, like, behind him with a fan or something. But then again, even he's questioning why. It's just a thing that you just don't ask.
Ahem, if I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you see taught so... It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Oh, she's gonna drink the bottle. To prove it's not poison.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy.
She's racist? Yeah. Then again, this court is also sexist. They're like, no females allowed unless they're testifying. Actually, hold on, let me check something. Because I remember something here. The above-mentioned effects occur when poison enters the body through a wound. If she drinks it, she'd probably be fine. Right? Right? I think that makes sense. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! You're really gonna drink all that poison. Wait! What are you doing? How'd what's name get poisoned if he didn't drink it? Oh. Oh, I see. I see. So the victim... Let's take a look right here. I can actually show you with evidence. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, victim undergone dental treatment. Not prohibited from drinking anything but water. There we go. Now we just gotta prove it. Through a bunch of cutscenes and stuff. He just had mouth surgery. He didn't floss. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. What if she just, like, actually did drop dead, though? Goodness. Whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, young boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Urgh. When you get to your objection, we gotta wait for our characters to realize what it is. I don't know if you've played any of the Ace Attorney games, but there's a roundabout way that they have to get to it. They have to explain things multiple times. Even if you figure out, like, instantly, you have to go through every step. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. There's when you have to audibly yell objection in the mic. Is that real? That's probably, like, an option you can do, but I don't know if you have to do it, but still, that's really funny. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. I just blow into the mic. Yeah, but why wouldn't you just say objection? That's the whole point. Ah, yes, dear lady. We're most gratified for all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How'd she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison. The culprit did put cure poison in Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The fence refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer's in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly deadly poisoned water unscathed?
Do we just show this again, then just explain?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. No? After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel's trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sasano-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You'll direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle?
Let's double check. I'm pretty sure it's special characteristics. Yeah. We've been hearing a lot about this cure poison. I've been curious about something.
Oh, Counsel?
Well, it sounds though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please!
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters are going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Counsel! No, that would be madness!
I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense.
Yes, mention that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When cure air enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Ms. Brett, you authored this research. You knew cure air's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. Oh, screen shook. You meddling little... Oh my god, it's a real swan. Rapscallion! That's a real bird. Oh my god. Hey Bonnie, you're right. there was a bird. Well, Ryunosuke, turns out... you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I failed to see how possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, cure air is safe to ingest. Seems like its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of gastric succus. I don't know how that word is. Oh, yes. Well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? Sus. Yeah, sus. So if the lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? If he had dental surgery, he would. That's right.
Good gracious!
That's basic science. Such that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? And then we gotta provide the evidence saying they had dental work done. He's on wisdom teeth opium, yeah. I mean, this is ancient Japan, so...
The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected the same way.
Are you trying to suggest...
Yes, this cure air poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this rolling up inside me? I think that might be acid reflux, Ryunosuke. I've never felt like this before. Sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. Uh-oh. He's hulking out. More than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh my god, Ryunosuke. Settle down.
Objection.
He did the thing! He did the thing! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. He did the thing. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson's dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know, those poisons are completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? Dental work. Present. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the Professor. However, there's a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Cure are only felt when the poison enters by through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. Use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. What? Grab the bottle. Oh. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! Just smash that bottle. What a terrible blunder.
Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much water from the broken bottle as possible, at once!
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle. Or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I assume, dear lady?
That's right, and really looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using Curer, and then in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime. You wait until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed the evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke! Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head! In my head? But it's all empty up there, there's nothing in there. You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Ugh. Oh my god. There's blood on the plate. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. There's right there. It's blood. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off the Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. Oh my god. It's been niggling for a while. Something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whether this could be the key to arriving at the truth all about this. Or about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... I mean, it's... Is it not the blood?
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this! Riddle me this! Yes? What is it? No, he's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going with...
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photograph print with my own eyes that day. I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on. There was a spattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made on the plate implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were.
Giselle Brett! I beg your pardon!
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. That a boy! Who can find out for sure whether there's been a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate? We must examine it now! This guy. It's ridiculous.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir! Oh my god. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't!
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man! Show the court!
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. What about the other plate, though? No, no blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There's blood on the right side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Oh my god. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust... Oh my god, yeah. Yep. This game do be doing that.
I couldn't agree more. In the case of disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we must finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
Wait. Wait. Wait a minute. Examine. Well, hold on. I mentioned this last time. This steak looks significantly less eaten than this one. Right? Oh, for sure. Yeah. That steak is full in this one. This is as it happened. The plate of steak. Was a plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? Let's look at the steak. Examine that steak. 3D steak!
In 3D. Steak.
Oh? Hello? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. Imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bullion. Oh my god. Game. You can't do this. Can't keep getting away with this. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means this isn't the steak that she ate. This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I did!
As evidence requested by defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
Yes. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue.
Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with the beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling till I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Counsel for the defense, you'll now clearly show the court to what you're alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found?
Under. Show us that coin, baby!
Huh?
Oh my god, hold on. Are we gotta go through this dialogue again? Yep. Gotta hear this dumb line again.
Certainly I've expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoei era, too. That make it really quite valuable.
It's all marinated in the juices as well, look!
What? Are you thinking of eating it?
No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Okay, present.
Got it!
Got it! Oh, he's got an accent. Oh, Ryunosuke has an accent. You better believe I'm not doing that, though.
Good gracious, that's...
A Koban? What on earth?
A Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath this meat?
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen anything before in my life. I'll know what it is, but I want no part of it. I feel, sir, this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe this happened by accident in the kitchen?
A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case.
I'll rip my ticket to Great Britain right now.
He's right. It can't be a coincidence. It can be a coincidence, though. That's a stream, everybody. Okay. Okay. Anyway, where were we? Your Excellency.
Yes, Counsel?
A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll give it my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it's you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak.
The owner?
Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person who it could belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found under the beef steak is... It's her! No, it's the old man.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer Earl of Rasute, Curio Korikuda-san. Also, I just realized the pun in Curio. I just realized the pun there, too. God dang it. Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. Exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei Koban, my prized coin! Then this Hoei Koban, do you mean to tell me?
No, please, why would Korakuda-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense! Which is why I'm asking to bring Korakuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
The rotating shot. Can't believe we've come back to that round of that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that we chase down the real significance of this Koban. We'll find out what's a key element in the case. The stakes were swapped, that's it. That's the obvious thing. But we do have to prove it. Oh, he's back with the baby! The baby is more upset than ever.
What's all this about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? But my son's belly's empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves! Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set in this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korakuda-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ryunosuke memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban? Whoa! Yes, that's it! The one! The very exact one that it is!
Oh my god, the knife stabbed into his shoe. Into his boot.
The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplate that fateful day!
It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man! Enlighten this decrepit old fool! Put me out of my misery! Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere.
We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and his plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means someone must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Guess we gotta find out. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga.
I mentioned this early on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why he sent it undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. Seems likely that this Koban is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief who worked in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korakuda-san's Koban is all too clear.
What?
What? Think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korakuda's Koban?
It's this guy. He was sitting at the table wanting to buy it. And if the stakes were swapped, then this was probably his stake.
Take that!
Take that! And I'm gonna open up this soda. This sodar here. Here, listen to this, chat. There we go. Get that ASMR for soda. Okay. I was getting like, so it's never opened that crisp. Yeah, I was like, I'm feeling like a little shaky from doing all of those big voices. Need to like calm down a bit and take a drink. Okay. Obviously, it can only be you, Sergeant Izanoza. That's the pun in him, Izanoza. Izanosa.
What? How? How dare you, you monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido's the mastermind behind all this!
Send the baby to the jail now. Hold on. I just gotta FVC face a bit here. There we go. There we go, that's better. The baby's fault. You push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Oh, he's gonna blow. He's gonna blow. Ugh.
Ah, the baby! Ah!
Oh my god, the baby! The baby!
Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop! Ah!
Oh my god, the baby killed him. Okay. Oh, look at his mustache, though.
Nippon near the Imperial Army, Sergeant Yasunosa. Preparing to stand down the Supreme Court, sir.
The baby.
Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages that the Nippon Imperial Army pays it those expect to keep our country safe?
I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for low-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes.
All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you're stealing things at the restaurant.
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork, even. Which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man in his Koban.
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin in my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are!
No, that's the wrong game. This is Ace Attorney, not Persona 5.
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I had the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak. Hoping I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you can carry off this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, your excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it?
Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction to your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Attention!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. You gotta go? Oh, bye, Bonnie. Thank you for stopping by in the resub. I appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye. Yes, I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
Oh, hold on. What needs the evidence, counsel? Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory. Where's the evidence to prove it?
That right there is a fork and knife.
Take that!
The photographic proof of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred.
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table.
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs! Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Noticed what exactly, counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did! She's a refined English gentlewoman herself! And take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah!
Oh!
Ah! Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork. There shouldn't be any teeth marks on the steak at all. But what was your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clear the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks on the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
Nope.
I actually do know, but... Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks on a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I know I saw someone seemed to have disappeared.
And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Gotta take more sip. Sit up a bit.
I accept these teeth marks on the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. What exactly are you suggesting it tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial's run several hours already, and you're saying there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga.
What? I have it.
Yes.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
Oh my god, dude. Stop.
No, I'm not saying that.
Everyone's attention's been focused on this steak with the teeth marks.
Yes?
Now, early this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court that following. I enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. As well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin, he told us they slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet! I'm a superior officer!
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Tension! Affirmative, of course! Might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle if she'd mind manhandling your meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was staying at the victim's table.
Objection!
If the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
That's exactly what. Well, not the sergeant, but someone did.
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance.
Baby.
With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
Man, this case.
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over,
It means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said they had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah!
That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can this possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case. No, you're not wriggling away out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? That alliteration was on purpose. You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something your defendant remembers seeing. He thinks he remembers. Quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson. There was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you're eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak of the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir! Oh, man. Sorry for keeping you. Wait, what? Here's the other steak in its plate. Why is this one eaten too? Who ate this steak? Oh, okay, that's okay. That one was cut. I thought that one had bite marks too. I was like, what? Okay, but yeah, that's cut with a knife. Bloodstains clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruto to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Oh my god. The bird's dead. Outdone? By Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No, no! Get that bird out of here! Oh my god. Let the bird go. Yeah! Oh my god, there was a chick there too. Get... Oh my god. Jesus Christ, lady. What? You can't do that. You can't do that, game. You can't keep getting away with this. Oh my god. Now that's a pop-off if I've ever seen one. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. Here we go. The actual truth. We're gonna hear it. It was I who took Professor's life using Cure Air. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The Professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the Professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water.
because cure is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I will need to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he'd been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor to the professor's table. That'd be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such they wouldn't fall. There was going no back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of cure in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Oh, I thought it'd be under the hat, under the skirt. So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's why I noticed the professor's gun, which he'd presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you're sure that I'd notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. Took him to the pantry adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because, of course, you need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson before he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. Wait. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Wait, she's just going? She just admitted that she did it? Okay, she just gets to leave. Cool. Go bye. Well, hey, at least we're innocent.
It would seem this trial's finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Taketsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
What, yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten!
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that! Oh my god. That wasn't necessary. Thanks, Kazuma. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Gee, I wonder what that's foreshadowing, huh? I wonder. What could that possibly mean?
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan, well, I believe go down in history at the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, present an excellent case.
I thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gathering acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like I cannot begin to imagine. That's for the young to pursue. Kazuma Aosogi. Yes? After this trial, you're set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you're able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, hey, we're here.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty!
Oh. Wow. I don't think Ouchie's moved from that position at all. Since Kazuma did the deed.
The court is now adjourned. My boy.
Well, we did it. Hooray. Sorry, just had to take another sip beat. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it! I defend myself and made it through that horrendous trial! Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki for the place on Yuma University Street, don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report on Miss Bratz, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university to investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Speaking of Mikotoba...
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it's I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal who took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. Went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when he met Dr. Wilson.
Exactly.
In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. How we worked together? Never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides...
It's your turn, Asogi.
Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture... and, of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. His blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. Well, it's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. Must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who's going to be bringing her justice? The British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yeah, she's a student, but doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that's for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There's never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the star of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... You're right, there's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes, thank you. Well, so Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. Never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. Couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me, all that tense verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I know I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer is to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like, you believed in me like you said when I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. You have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you really can be backed into a corner. Being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then. Oh, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer, precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, I faced seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. In the end, you found it, through your own efforts, because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh, what's Cosmo glum about? There's something else going on with this, this trip to Great Britain. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go! Thank you, we'll be right there. We're going all out. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. Wow. So we go in an hour 30. Let's take a very quick look at the VOD for the first part. Let's see how long that took. Took about 3 hours, so, you know, 4.5 hours for the first trial. That seems good. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, act as my assistant. This guy, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Man. Because of the help and support of all these people, I managed to get through that trial. More importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Uh-oh. Ryunosuke, I need a favor. Give me 1,000 yen, it's important. I needed that 1,000 yen for my rent. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Oh boy. Episode 2. Episode 5. And this is just one game. They're like more than one, I think, right? Alright, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Oh my god, it's 999 again. If you don't know on YouTube, and let's
small dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
The what now?
In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness.
Sholmes?
"You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air.
God dang it, game!
I raised my dark lantern.
You can't keep getting away with this!
Slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring
oh my
intently at
god.
the corner when he started
Dr.
to smile.
Wilson, what? No. No, 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 no. You can't. No. Game? Game! You gotta stop.
In front of us was an enormous adder, fangs bare.
Game. You can't keep doing this.
Speckled band I had ever seen.
god. This is ridiculous. Anyways, I was saying, on YouTube, I'm doing Let's Play of 999, and this... The ship just...
So then, let us unravel this
Oh my
mystery
god, here he is!
and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room.
Who is this nerd?
In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
I can't read that.
Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script.
Extraordinary!
And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact,
Stealing a
it seems
demon.
written by someone of a different nationality.
Oh my god, this guy.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well,
How can...
what have
What?
we here?
Excuse me?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Heavy weapons guy.
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is a paper thing.
No, you just unsealed the demon.
The culprit is in there.
Who are you? And where have you come from?
Oh, is that... is that the inspector again?
It's the only one in the world.
That has to be the inspector again.
Sherlock Holmes.
God dang it. I hate it. I noticed something in that cutscene that kind of does make sense. It's sad, but makes sense. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. No, I'm pretty sure that's pollen. Oh. Wait. I can't move. Oh god, not again. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Who is this? We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you cannot wake up. You're a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Duh, we found you. And now you pay, criminal! How long were you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Why'd you do it? Why'd you take his life? Mrs. Sato. Wait, what'd you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ah! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt! You are the killer! Do not try to make excuses! What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin. That was bolted shut from the inside. His body... Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep! Kazuma's dead? But he can't be! In these handcuffs? Surely you don't think I have to know. Why'd you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please! No. No! Yeah, the mentor character that helped us out in the first case is now dead in the beginning of the second case. Wow, yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense. Just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't you get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It's really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case on the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. Must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days till we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Hope not. Get the feeling those Russians would be very forgiving of stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we couldn't confide in her, could we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, I'd make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward's supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my travel case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what. Why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. I've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England. Together! Well, so much for that. We leave you to next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer! No, I'm not a murderer! You said before! Said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I'd like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare's getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? These handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via porthole window. The bolt in the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these 4 walls. What? Hello, what about that vent in the upper left corner? Could have been someone small enough to fit inside there, the vent, hello? Or put another way, the culprit could only have been someone inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How'd he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still gonna deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me! The cause of death is still undetermined. I don't know how he died. The ship's doctor is examining his body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there are no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. About the incident. Can anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but...
He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I've every day so far on this voyage. This morning he didn't come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open when we managed to get inside. There was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Wait, yeah, if he was asleep in the wardrobe, how could the message be on the door like that? That doesn't make sense. Now I've told you everything I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything. Stowaway. Why even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you that. I never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. Lone's at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. Can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you're to become a lawyer, then... Then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That I wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yeah, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. Look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry they kept it a secret from you. By stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect that he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Last night... If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is... I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And I got myself in that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I... fell asleep? Well, yes. So deep that he didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I had woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. There's the vent. It's been in eyesight this whole time. Sure, they can be taken off and climbed through. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why does this have to happen? Ugh, can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of the crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. Yeah, I didn't do anything to stop it. And I'm supposed to just sit around. My hands tied while whoever did this walks free. No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? You're going to investigate. You're going to find out exactly what happened here. You're going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Oh. Thrown to the floor. Nice. What the... That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. Expected me to present some conclusive evidence. Have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Oh yeah. This, how did this get on the door?
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always puts it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. In this case, the cabin steward and another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, it did the same last night as well. Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. If I were truly the culprit, I could have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Wow, we don't need 4.5 hours to prove it to her. Well, that was easy. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me. I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Magic? You believe magic over me? What, do you think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I won't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I'll avenge your death. Oh. Hey. Oh my god, he's just here. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? Pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? We could ask the Russian man there. Oh dear, that won't do. What's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Oh? Oh, hey, we can look left and right there. Sure, you careful look all around using BM, aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Cool. Let's look at that vent. I think it's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. That a little odd. What do you mean? Well, it's a ventilator, if that's what it is. Looks like I must connect to the next door cabin. Oh, sorry. Yes, it appeared to. You're right. Well, its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room. Sure, it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose, maybe that's it. Okay, oh, there's a check mark there. We've checked it. Some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Well, it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Okay. Ink. Investigate thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. But it's the fallen ink. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how he stowed away in this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and now it's tossed onto the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it's less painful than a Susato takedown. What the heck is this? Something broken bell. What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Another thing appears to have broken clean in two. Oh, just a second. Okay, sorry, I just had to do something real quick. The glass is such a beautiful color. It's a cute little A.K.A fastener from a kimono outfit. Not sure it sounds like Kazuma. Would have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? You don't know. And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? A silver brick like you. Yeah, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. But the statue. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look. All toppled the same way. What's this? Statue of some god of the sea? Oh, he's fallen over as well. Yeah, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked. Everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... it was you, Naruhodo-san? In a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. These things have been thrown about. Have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, maybe when they busted open the door, that could have fallen over.
Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I like to see a mess. Is it gonna reveal something? No. Okay. What's this say? These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Bureau. Sent you a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either I wasn't supposed to be in here. Okay, that broken stuff isn't there. And the knife? Oh. The UI is covering it, so I'm assuming. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. Never anywhere without it. Yeah, he's always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe that it worked very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. So it showed just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Seigi, Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship? Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. Time to talk to the man. Perhaps you with this Russian crewman makes sense of the crime. Excuse me? What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean.
Roundabout the totally Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see.
Sorry?
The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime? Very funny.
Oh, it was supposed to be a joke. It doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. A lot of useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
Yet, of course not. Now back to corner room and make silent. I say no more to you.
That hurt a nerve? Just for a minute there, it seemed a little flustered. Okay, yeah. Okay, can't click on this. That's my dinner from last night. Roast chicken. It's really tasty. Yes, it's very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-san didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spends last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. How about this knife? Okay, that's also not it. This is where dear Kazuma-san would have sat whenever he was writing. Oh, hey, journal. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. At least the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue. Hiya! That's out of the question. What? Kazuma may have departed this world, but he does not read its private thoughts. What if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? But, Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You noticed the man too, have you? I think it's funny how we saved that for last, so we just teleport in. No idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. Something very unusual about him. This frickin' guy. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining, or does Sao-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press space on people in their crosshairs, you can converse with them. Yeah, I did. The Russian guy was not happy. Oh, please do. Fine, we'll talk with him, I guess. Excuse me? Excuse me, do you have a moment? This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Cool. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! This guy, this frickin' guy. What exactly were you in Kazuma's desk just now? Oh my god. I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in the cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin of 16 victims to his name? I want to see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way I... Hi-ya! Oh my god. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. Jeez. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Uh-oh. Forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You're just saying the first thing came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in the most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction, or plain observation.
Indeed, and observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same, the inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Sato-san? The most famous detective in the world. Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? Must have some ways deduced. He'll have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Alright, tell us. Great detective, huh? So, you're great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, I've no air. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I've sent from England especially. Yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My truest biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy as of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, to me is a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer noticed even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Oh, this guy's played L.A. Noire. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have returned both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Kazuma's death. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in the most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-san this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Herlock Sholmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really, two facts, you say? Two facts. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape from culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Well, Mr. Chums, what made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That's the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderob may be the name of the killer. Certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. We found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Are school uniforms the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message. Then I'm analyzer for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. It's the first time I've actually seen him like this. The guy has X-ray vision, but he doesn't have a color camera. Come on now. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes. Thank you. Photograph crime scene has been entered into the court record. There's no court here! Ship court. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning led me to the truth. Do you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian. I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you include about me, I mean? Ah, the now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah yes, the more sordid details is a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call in Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? Sounds like Mr. Sholmes concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary, one who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik? No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary, after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And my dad, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds of the man's perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? What about the part where he said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? Ryunosuke, read a map. This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you.
Absorbed all this of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. This guy, though. This frickin' guy. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. You can hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. There might be a picture or two. Let's glance at the article. Maybe there'll be a picture or two. Oh, hey. Wonder if that could be the crown. Wait, was there a crown? There was a band, and not the crown. Never mind. This is interesting. You found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no. I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. Can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. That was about a beautiful young Russian princess, you think. She is very pretty, isn't she? Suppose you enjoy articles like this, don't you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this, Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During her performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer is reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It appeared the woman is in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea. I'm quite sure. Must be an unbelievable sum of money. Sao-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novovich Ballet. Nope, I keep messing up that one. Novovich Ballet. Because I keep trying to say his one word, I think. It seems the director is beside herself with worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports of sailing to Great Britain. Could this be another case of Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. And we gotta dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Jeez. Boy, oh boy. Before I start talking, you're examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. See, the victim is engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Oh, London Diary. Kazuma's keeping notes of the trip. Nah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic! And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Sato-san? Are you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, what on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely his diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what's the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai. Mikado. Nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. This was all that's showing off about before then. If you'd be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged. My dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. Looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What does that mean? Snakes in the grates? I have no idea. Never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yeah, the adjoining cabin. There's snakes in the vents, guys. I'm tired of these motherfrickin' snakes on my Monday to Friday ship. So I believe giving you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere else to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and I'm still too long. The seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You think you're investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exhalation. Exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Henceforth, the truth will become clear soon enough. I'm reading this weird. You think perhaps we could go with you? No, that'd be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these... After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn to a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed at my face. Sense of humor is as twisted as his name. I get it, because they changed the letters. No, Hoda-san, what are you just standing there for? Must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Hiya! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's kind of examine what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me. There's still things I can do to help myself. I know what to Kazuma, do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Thanks to so-called detective, I'm even more stuck inside this cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I'll just have to focus my efforts on investigating in here. Okay, can we investigate the desk? Oh, wait. I guess I never investigated the door itself. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. Just slats across to secure the door shut. Still, if the door bolted, there would have been no way to get in or out of the cabin. That's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense up and I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. The door of this cabinet's frame are made of metal. They seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. She glares at me like that. I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Other guy. Look over there. The crewman, you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. I suppose I could try. Is that... something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes, what can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Yep. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, not on your sleeve, man. Oh. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover to member the crew and board the ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? It's classified, I assume. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Oh my god. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for his overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How can that even been a possibility? I'm not sure. These are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Can we investigate? We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not. I'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. And the answer is no on that one. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door... That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? Going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. I don't see how. There may be a way. What? Really? If I try to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? Just the same as when you're in court.
You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. So I can present the detective the evidence needs to persuade the captain. That might be... Hey, Rundy, how's it going? You're playing Phoenix Wright, but there's no Phoenix. Let's try this, because it mentioned stuff in the vents. Oh, I can't? Oh, present. Back. Present. Here we go. You're doing good, and that's good. No, no, present. What's that? It's Cosmo's diary. Just before he died, Cosmo-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? This is strange. Yeah, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. Playing so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately. Oh. I used to be into Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. Kind of fell off. Like when the card game motorcycle stuff happened, I was like, okay, it's getting too complicated. Like, the game itself was getting too complicated. I was like, eh. Also, I never really had a lot of people to play with, so that was another reason. Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. The ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Am I going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asugi-san safe. That's the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. All the guard let me, though, is the thing. Oh. Oh my god, look at that mousetrap. Just a second. Ooh, my neck's getting stiff. I should probably... May take a break in a bit. We'll see. Oh, finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. This is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Cosmo-san was being sent on the study tour by the government, so it was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really, that must be awful. Oh! Look over there. It's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose making sure that no one comes in here shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I'd have thought I'd be used to the ship by now. You've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Oh yes, I know. But thing is, I was inside Cosmo's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. Must have been a very trying time for you. Please don't give me that pitying look. Let's look at the map. Map might help. Looks like the plan of the SS Bureau. Shows each deck, look.
Yabura is a large steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. It's playing in my mind for a while now, actually, but how does such a huge lump of metal just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, it's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan. Yes, they're not metal, but they're enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than the ship. They don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Ship protocols. There's a huge book on top of the table there. There's a pen next to it. Yes, it looks like the ship's log. Shall I have a little look through it? You're just gonna let us do that, I guess. The writing's so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such a beautiful handwriting. Yeah, nothing. No reaction at all. Thought I might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san. Even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. So that means there's nothing to report. Inspect you. Excuse me, but can I ask you something?
You? You little stowaway murderer!
That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but can I perhaps ask something of you?
You? You little third-class lady's maid?
Oh. Oh. You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Sasato-san.
I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I'm senior crewman.
Beef Stroganoff. God dang it, this game. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area.
Here we are, the finest part of Beria steamship, for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That's why I'm always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. Want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's currently occupied?
Da!
Sasato-san, did you understand that? Sound like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, sounds like there's someone in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. She shows who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He's a very important Western gentleman.
Grimsby Roylott. Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murder of student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man will have knowledge and loyally student from insignificant Far East Islands.
That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is not your business.
Come to think of it. You've been at sea for 2 weeks now. And I've been to Kazuma's cabin the entire time. Never once heard anything from the next door cabin. Or even felt like there was anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman was occupying one of the first-class cabins. It must be rather important. Is that right?
That is not your business.
Last night. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Da, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in, or get out.
I wonder. Could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is sad about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
Did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Yet!
Sato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no.
I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all.
You didn't hear any strange noises? Or sense anything was wrong in some way? Oh! Look at his eyes! L.A. Noir coming in.
I said no!
Sorry. Not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. They're hiding something.
This is enough. I cannot say more now.
Oh.
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
Yes, alright.
Bulkhead to second-class area, staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Well, we still have stuff to the left I want to look at. Like this giant mouse trap. Ah, trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Well, they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. Made from the milk of cows. Cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut in your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Yeah, guess this is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yeah, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve the particular mystery. Let's ask. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. That's the bell. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. Like as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship. It brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, guess I have to see. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it. This is an emergency situation. Look at these handcuffs. You know full well it's not what the alarm's for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. Ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah! What was that? Came from inside the cabin. It's a high-pitched scream. Must have been a woman.
Stand aside! Stand aside!
Oh. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes, I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. Is there time to think about stress relief? Oh, they're just doing this, are they?
Who are you?
A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin.
True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed?
Get out, all of you! Now!
Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe.
Yes, that's me. And you are?
I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt.
No.
I'm a great detective among detectives. I'm a great detective among great detectives. One who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card.
A detective? I do not trust detectives.
We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls.
But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be bold to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could it fit inside a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the case just shook. Leave now, otherwise I'll call the steward. So this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimesby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. See if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. What are you doing in there? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting for the inevitable time. That you would need to call on my great powers of detection into service. Oh, it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? No, actually. You're spot on, for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please. Well then, what you're about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Here we go. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, "It's a capital mistake to theorize before you've all the evidence. It biases the judgment." Shh! Must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I've reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What? What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you've been discovered. Does it not? Ah! Oh, Naruhodo-san, never imagined witness of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. A single glance can deduce all there is to know about a person. What an inevitable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read about countless times the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. It's like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the colors drained from Mr. Roylott's face. Looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us bore the train of reasoning. Quite plainly, let us walk through my deductions together. Oh my god, what is this? What is this? Oh boy. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front-page article. Which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. I mean, he does look kinda similar. Kinda. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decide to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Wow. This is very silly. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are in this very moment on the brink of committing most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. Oh. Who wants to bet there's an animal in there? Who wants to bet there's an animal in there, and that's what he's keeping? It's time, I think, the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation. A young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit there within. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we only need to follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refused to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there's another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nova Veg Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Well, case closed. He did it. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. Man. Sasato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. We had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall a discussion earlier. At the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Rod does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part of him about abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? I mean, you don't know? No, the young lady's 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, 10 years worth for her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to control oneself in the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something has occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions right now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. Just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off. Or do I have a little, maybe a little off itself, Mrs. Sato? Just one or two key words in his deduction that seemed to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely a thought that was going through my own mind. This man's a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? But... where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they might hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you're a marvel. No, I'm a DC. Common mistake. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Oh my god. Oh, hey. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, that's not it. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that cut off a beard? That's something I'll have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though. Doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott, either. Which means, I suppose, the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san. See if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. Well, if it's really his beard they tend to use those shears on. Exactly. We do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better. Then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around that last sentence. What's exactly Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Oh. Oh. Oh, hey!
What's all this about then? What the? What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks. No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? How's it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. It's so stunning, wait. Oh. I know what's going on now. Oh, if this is what's happening, this is amazing. So stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
You're on the verge of Yuka's shears cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all, you're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Yep, it's the article on the back. Oh, that was a shock. I knew the old man was a really young woman disguised, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts of Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything, Baka. It's strictly business, not... Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyone's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Royal is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather, she, can't possibly be its merciless revolutionary. I suppose because the deduction as a whole is taking a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman's situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. It's the one on the back.
Yes!
The evidence reveals your true identity is, of course, the arc about the ballerina. That's right, you hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Ah! You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. We did it. Now to my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people of a prepotency let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. Woman's the ballerina. She's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. Seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what was the crime this young woman was apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. Seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman's up to. There it is. Tiara. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. Never seen anything like it. Those are real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on! What, me? Is it usually girls who wear tiaras? Would you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently.
Yes!
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Ah. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. If the reporting is to be believed, it says I'm worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you committed is theft. Oh no! Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Ah! Take her to the brig. I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me! This girl is only 15 years old. She's run away all by herself. This has been extremely lonely. Look, when I'm extremely lonely, I don't run away on a ship somewhere. But that's just me. She's built different, I guess. Alright, I'll tell you everything. There's no point to hiding it now. Come, let's not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we're not well-suited life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'earl betrays you. Once again, we only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why I refused to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. No, that's not it. It's completely changed tack with this deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe. Why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? Just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case. Would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Mr. Avola certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. There has to be another reason why she won't open her case. Must be somewhere in the same area. That's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree, it's the only answer. Now she's hidden inside that case. She would be able to follow her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Ah, rules of passage. Rules of nature! Because there's an animal in there, and no pets are allowed.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refused to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Rules of nature. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in the cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why I refused to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves with one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case... is the last item listed in the vessel rules of passage. A pet! Ah! This deduction stuff is ridiculous. I hope we do more of this in the game, because this was too funny to not use ever again. This is so good. Look at that. Elementary. This is great. So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I'm not Grimsby Voilot. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. There, that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. It couldn't have been easy. The Bureau is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you have really snuck aboard without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. You intend to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation, leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? The veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. Like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man. I see. Put on the fur hat and fake beard? Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened. I couldn't stop it from screaming. I know that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair off as fastly as possible. Picked up the scissors in my hand and... at that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Annoyingly unlocked. You wanted to kick things. Things like that happen sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Us two even talking about the same thing? There's one thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? If it's a snake. If it's a snake. You were right, it's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew, your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I'll tell you. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. Wasn't it something, Mr. Shulman's great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. At least Miss Pavlova agrees to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible! Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. My... oh, they're back on. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I've restored your shackles. When and why? Still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Can it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. Can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Converse. Happened last night. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova? Is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Running away? Why'd you run away? You've run for your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I've been traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I'll never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara's mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of the ship. They've all been kind to me. They'd let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. Ah, so the guards knew, yeah. If that's indeed the case, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Miss Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Sorry, my neck's killing me tonight. I don't know how much longer I'll go. I know I said try to do longer today. We'll see. I also didn't have that much of a dinner, so probably eat a snack afterwards. Oh, man. Man! Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. I don't think now's the time for riddles, Sholmes. But sure. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now that being the case, must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Bureau stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Come aboard via, like, another ship? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strange when we mentioned that. And just after we asked him about when the occupant of his cabin came aboard. That is not your business. Yeah, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It's how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here, too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Wait, English, but we're Japanese. Are we all speaking English? I guess we are. Considering Herlock Sholmes doesn't know Japanese, I don't know. I guess we're all speaking English all the time. For some reason. I don't know. I don't know, man. That brings up a good point. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from wonderfully extravagant advertisement. From the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Friend? Who's your friend? Is it a snake? I bet it's a snake. So the friend you mentioned inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. They found my precious
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves and use it to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt.
Ah! So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. What sort of pet is your friend? Little puppy? It is, isn't it? Being an adorable little rabbit?
It's a snake. Ha! You credit Russia's land of small rabbits, do you?
Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then?
You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? Must be a chicken.
Really?
Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call. Daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. Oh god. So eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear that Friend's Den is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. Showers doesn't quite trust us yet. Something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Present the journal, because it's a snake. Speckled band, it's a snake. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. Looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? I don't understand. Strange, isn't it? Strange, isn't it? But the ventilator mentions joins this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabins are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? Show us the snake. No. I don't know anything. No. Well, she's not saying anything. Case closed. Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott. Yes, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I'll come now. What? You must leave, now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out! Or do you want me to throw you out? Ugh. Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. It's a snake! So we lost our chance. We still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. We were so mostly chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown to the passageway outside. To be continued. Oh, do I end the stream now? I looked at the time and we've been going for 3.5 hours. Now might actually be a good time. Boy. Yeah, this might actually be a good time to end the stream. If the game's gonna stop me in increments like this, might as well. Oh, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. My neck is killing me, so I should probably just, you know, not sit down for a while. Okay. Let me get the thing. There we go. Alright, yeah, so that is the stream today. Thank you everyone that stopped by. Appreciate it. Means a lot. People want to stop by and watch me try to be funny and play games. But yeah, this game's still very, very, very fun. I like it a lot. It's as silly and as... I get very invested in it. It's very good. I can't wait to do more of this, and I can't wait to see how much more Sholmes we're going to get. And I hope we get more, because like I said, that deduction part was more fun. Like, it was super fun, and I hope they actually use it again.
But yeah, that's it for tonight. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night as well. And I'll try to get more streams done soon because I do have other games in mind. I'll probably do a different game next time because, you know, want to mix things up a bit. And if you haven't already, hey, hold on, I have a button for this on my stream deck. What am I doing typing? Yeah, feel free to follow my other accounts and other sites, YouTube for the VODs and for Let's Plays, and Twitter for updates and stuff. Funny mentioning that website tonight of all nights. But yeah. Good night, everybody. Take care. Anything else? No, that's it. Goodbye, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.